What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Andre here. Hope you're locked in and ready to go, because today we're diving deep into the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. And when I say deep, I mean all the way in. There's a lot to break down. We're talking new hardware specs, a pricing model that might make you do a double take, some surprising third-party support, and a couple of missing pieces that I personally found disappointing. But overall, it's a wild time to be a Nintendo fan, and there's plenty to love and plenty to side-eye. If you're watching this after your 10th Switch 2 video of the week, respect. I appreciate you spending your time here. Also, if you want to kick it with me live, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv at Andre the Alpha. Link is always in the description. Oh, Mario. Black Flag is one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever. I'm not just saying that, it really is. It's pretty fun. We talk games, life, lift heavy, and grind. All right, let's not waste time. Let's talk Switch 2. The official launch date is June 5th, and it comes in at $449 USD for the standard console. If you want the bundle with Mario Kart World included, that'll run you $499. Now, at first glance, that might seem steep, but in a world where consoles are regularly crossing the $500 mark and handheld gaming is evolving, this isn't the worst case scenario. I'll admit I was bracing for a minimum $500 base price, so Nintendo landing just below that threshold gives them a bit of breathing room. Now let's talk specs, because this is where things actually start to feel different. The Switch 2's handheld screen is 1080p with HDR, capable of running games at up to 120 frames per second. That is a massive leap from the original Switch, and honestly something I didn't expect from Nintendo. These guys are usually behind the curve on resolution and performance, so seeing them jump in on high refresh rate displays and HDR, that caught my attention. Docked mode goes even further, pushing 4K visuals at 60 FPS. That puts it into modern gen territory, even if it's not quite matching the PS5 or Series X. For Nintendo's style of games and their visual design philosophy, that's going to be more than enough. And from what we saw during the showcase, the games running on this thing looked surprisingly sharp. Metroid Prime 4 in particular stood out. It looked clean, not just by Nintendo standards, but by 2025 standards. You also get 2 USB-C ports now. One of them is meant for a new camera peripheral. And let's just say it's giving Kinect energy. Not the cool Kinect features either. More like the awkward camera on a stand deal. Nintendo demoed some very janky green screen effects during the stream, and honestly, it wasn't the best look. But I'll give them credit for trying something different. Storage starts at 256 gigabytes. Expandable via micro SD cards, of course. And yes, physical game support is still here. Kind of. Let's get into that. So, here's where things get a little murky. Pricing. Game pricing in particular. Mario Kart World, if you buy it digitally, is $80. If you want it physically, that's reportedly going to be $90. For a standard edition, no steelbook, no art book, just the game. And it gets worse because there's been confirmation that many physical versions of games will just be key cards, meaning no data on the cartridge. You're basically buying a box with a download code inside. We saw this trend begin with games like Wolfenstein on the Switch, and it looks like it's continuing here. I love collecting physical media. I like having a shelf of my favorite games, but not if they're just empty boxes. If this continues, we're really heading into the end game for physical media. Now Nintendo's clearly trying to make the bundle seem like a better deal. If you buy the Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World together, that bundled version of the game comes out to $50. It's a $449 console with a $50 game. But buy that game separately, you're paying a premium. So yeah, this is clearly Nintendo encouraging you to go the bundle route. Let's talk Switch Online next. It's been upgraded, and the biggest new addition, GameCube titles. We're finally getting an official rollout of GameCube games on Switch. Nintendo showed off Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and they teased even more to come. There was mention of Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness, which would be huge. These games are already pricey as hell in the resale market, Same for Fire Emblem. That game alone can run hundreds of dollars. So bringing them to Switch Online is a win. That said, I'm not thrilled these are locked behind a subscription. I get it, $20 a year isn't bad, but I'd love the option to just buy them individually and own them permanently. Especially since we're clearly drifting toward a digital first, maybe even digital only future. Let's shift gears and talk about the first party titles Nintendo revealed, and wow, there was a lot. First up, Donkey Kong Bonanza. This one got me excited. It looks like Donkey Kong is finally getting that full 3D open style platformer treatment. Think Mario Odyssey, but for DK. And listen, I grew up on Donkey Kong 64. That game was messy in a beautiful way. Tons of collectibles, a huge world to explore, and it left an impression. So seeing this series return in 3D, fully modernized, was a big win for me. Then there's Mario Kart World. This isn't just a track-based update to MK8. They've added new modes, including a knockout tournament system and a free roam feature that lets you drive through larger environments with friends. Think open world Mario Kart. It almost sounds like The Crew, but with mushrooms and red shells. If they add a true career mode or story progression, this could be the most ambitious Mario Kart ever. Kirby Air Riders also made a surprise return. This is a remake/reboot of the cult GameCube classic, and Sakurai is directing it. That's amazing news though. It's also a bit worrying for Smash fans. Is Sakurai stepping away from Smash entirely? Or is this just a one-off passion project? Either way, Kirby fans win. Then came the biggest twist of the presentation, Duskbloods, a brand new From Software game exclusive to Switch 2. I couldn't believe it at first. When I saw the art style and combat, I thought for a second we were getting Bloodborne on Switch, but nope. This is a brand new IP. Duskbloods is a PvPvE multiplayer action game, similar in design to Night Rain. The combat looked weighty and tactical, but the reveal trailer left more questions than answers. There were a lot of dodge rolls, dark gothic corridors, and empty arenas, so it didn't instantly sell me, but From Software's recent track record speaks for itself. They've been incredibly consistent post Elden Ring, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and keep an eye on this. Now let's touch on the insane list of third-party games confirmed for the Switch 2. We've got Elden Ring, which is shocking enough on its own. Hades 2 is coming. Street Fighter 6 with all the current DLC included. Cyberpunk 2077 was confirmed, though they didn't show much. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is launching on Switch 2 before Xbox, which is wild considering how long Xbox players have been waiting. There's also Yakuza, Zero Director's Cut, Bravely Default Remastered, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, and even a Borderlands 4 tease. Civilization 7, sports titles from EA and 2K, Tony Hawk with a SpongeBob themed level, James Bond, Hitman. Metroid Prime 4 is getting a visual bump to 4K 60 FPS, as are both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Even Pokemon Legends ZA is getting an enhanced visual and frame rate update. They didn't say how high it goes, but still, this is a very real next-gen step for Nintendo. However, not everything made the cut. We didn't get firm release dates for Pokemon Legends ZA or Metroid Prime 4. That was a letdown. I really thought those were going to be launch window titles. Same story with the long-rumored Final Fantasy IX remake. Its website went up earlier this week, so it seemed like it was about to drop, but no announcement here. And where was Xbox? No Hi-Fi Rush, no Halo, no Gears. With all the multi-platform talk coming from Microsoft, I thought they'd be present. My theory? They're holding announcements for their own event. They want to keep control of the message, even if it means skipping the Nintendo Direct stage. To wrap it all up, this was a strong reveal. Nintendo brought real upgrades with the Switch 2. They showed off games that matter. They surprised us with third-party support, and they even teased a little ambition in their first-party lineup. But rising game prices, the potential end of physical games, and a few big titles missing from the show keep this from being a perfect reveal. That said, I'm in. I'll be pre-ordering, and I'll be covering every game I can get my hands on here on the channel. So what did you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you got value from the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, if you want to keep the conversation going, catch me live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It's a chill vibe, and we go deep on games, training, and everything in between. Until next time, stay alpha.